All right, now it's time for our roundtable. Ellen Kaloje from MeTV, Dawn Mendte, soon maybe to be from MeTV. I can't say that. Let's think it over.
Are you coming over?
You might be do pieces for us.
When you said soon to be, I was like, soon to be what?
Soon to be,
I can't say
I said,
that.
you're taking
Let me do it
Mendte,
again.
not getting rid of stuff. How's teaching, Mom? Huh? Teaching?
Yes, he is.
The teaching going okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I saw Mendte.
Sorry about that.
All right.
Ready?
Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Time now for our roundtable. Ellen Kaloje from MeTV, news anchor Dawn Mendte, who I have a close personal relationship with. Let's talk about some of the events of the week. First of all, Ebola. Ebola showed up in New York City in the form of a doctor who was working over there who decided to take Ebola on a stroll around the boroughs of New York. Because of that, 2 governors, then, well, 3 governors now, also in Illinois, announced mandatory quarantines for certain people coming back over from West Africa. Good idea, bad idea?
I know I disagree with you guys, but I think it's a good idea. Only because I'm not for the travel ban, which you and I disagree with, or we disagree on. But what's wrong with siding on the, being overly cautious?
Why did you assume you're disagreeing with me?
Because I just disagree with you on everything, Larry. So I just figured.
No. I think
Why would you not just put yourself out of commission for a few weeks and make sure out of overabundance of caution? I am fine with it.
I love that he did something. I love that the 2 governors came out and took action, because here's the thing, even if science says these things are supposed to go a certain way and the medical community says, no, it's the wrong thing to do, they have to care about their constituents and also the fears and concerns of their constituents. So I love that he did it. Apparently you disagree.
Well, no, here's the thing.
You thought it was overboard?
I think that this is something that if our little boys who are 8 and 10 got, this could kill them. If my elderly parents got this, this could kill them. And so, maybe this is just as a woman, as a mom, as a daughter, I'm just saying I want to do everything. I don't care if somebody says, well, this is overboard. I don't care if a nurse or a doctor says, oh, I'm fine. It's not all about you. It's about us as a people, and it's about our children and the elderly. Yeah, maybe a healthy adult who's well educated and says, hey, I might be coming down with whatever, and I've been in Africa, but if this comes over here, people are going to die, and the people who are going to die are the children and the elderly.
Actually, the only person that's died so far is the guy from Liberia who came over with it and was sent home. They've been able to cure everybody else.
The nurses are fine now.
Yeah, the nurses
she was hugging
are fine.
President Obama the other day.
But they cured them because they were medical professionals who knew that they had
that's
been
who's getting
exposed.
it in this country.
Right.
And they took, one of them took experimental drugs as well, which I would take in a heartbeat if I was.
But maybe certain people can't. My point to you is that, yes, medical professionals who knew they had been exposed, who knew the symptoms, yes, they've been saved and had blood transfusions and experimental drugs to save them, by the way, and they were treated very quickly. But in other words, if this starts getting into our country, and this is something we're unsuspecting during flu season, children and the elderly get it, we're going to have people die.
You see, we all agreed.
But no, but
we actually did all agree. Let me move on to another topic, because we have to. I'm tired of getting yelled at about not moving along. Let's talk about, there have been, which I don't think people realize, 3 terrorist attacks in North America over the last 10 days. The car driven in Montreal that killed a soldier, the shooting in Ottawa, and now a hatchet attack on the streets of New York. All deranged outcasts influenced by ISIS. Are we making too big a deal about this, or not enough of a big deal?
No, I think that
not enough.
I think it's appropriate. I think it's scary that the news media got it all wrong, as you pointed out, Larry. They got a lot of the factoids wrong early in that breaking news. But the bottom line is that we have to take ISIS seriously as a threat.
And if Canada is concerned, Canada, we always think of them as our friendly neighbor to the north. Hey, they like to ski, but it's hitting them. My husband's Canadian, so I can say that. So, but 90 people I heard in Canada have been targeted by ISIS, roughly about the same as in the U.S.
When you mean targeted,
on the internet,
radicalized
and trying to get them to come over to Syria. That's what happened to the man in Canada. He tried to go to Syria. They took his passport. But my point is, they have 10 times fewer people than the U.S. So they're really going after Canada. But I love how the Prime Minister took charge and said, this is ISIS, and he was very strong about it, and I really respected him for that.
And where's
he
our
didn't
president?
blame everybody else.
Well, and I think that we should view this almost as, when you have teenagers in particular being recruited by gangs. So ISIS is trying to get a few good recruits, or maybe more than a few.
Oh, and they're getting them, yeah.
That's who ISIS is
Yeah, but
comprised
gangs
of.
fight each
Desperate,
other. They
right.
want people to go after innocents.
Right.
And
But
you're
these are
right.
desperate
The
teens.
Prime Minister in Canada was wonderful.
He was strong,
I mean,
and
he
most
said-
Americans don't know his name.
Yeah.
They really don't, but I'm saying I was really proud of him that he came out so strongly, and he looked very, very, I don't want to say presidential, but he looked very, very good in a crisis.
No, absolutely. He said it's an attack on Canada. We're going to go after
We won't
ISIS, and
stand for this.
I'm surprised that President Obama
And the vicar
hasn't
took
been
him out. I love that the vicar in the parliament shot and killed the guy.
Now, the next thing we want to talk about is the midterms. Why don't you want to talk about this?
Oh, I hate it. No. I'm so bored by these midterms, Larry. I know you're like, this is the biggest change that could happen. The Republicans are going to take the Senate.
It's a shame that sometimes what's important to
But
all of our
we're political
lives.
junkies, and
Yeah.
average people are not paying attention. Trust me.
Why is that?
Because there's not a huge issue. I mean,
Because we're not, because stations will take political money
Mm-hmm.
and not do political coverage, and because we are not fulfilling our responsibility to educate the public about how important these midterms are and how important the political process is. And so when someone doesn't care about the midterm elections, we're actually causing the problem. And so how can you
It's your
then
fault.
complain? How can you complain about what's going on in the country if you don't care about
but
the
that's
process?
the $8
that-
question. People, what is the voting turnout?
You're the one that
It's
doesn't care.
ridiculous. No, because I don't care that there's just no race that is that sexy to me right now, except the governor's race in
You
Pennsylvania.
want sexy races?
I do.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, nationally, I don't think there's any
Wow.
national race except Kentucky that is really interesting me right now. I mean, Kentucky is very interesting, but I'm more focused.
I don't
on
even
the,
know what to say.
I'm
I
more
have
focused
no
on
idea
the, I'm more
what to
focused on the
say.
gubernatorial race in Pennsylvania. To me, that is really interesting.
Because
And-
Corbett is now
yeah,
that
the
is
gap
narrowing.
is narrowing, and I mean it'll
Which
change.
happens.
But I have friends who are teachers who view Corbett as the Antichrist.
The election's going to happen in a couple of days. Do you see a scenario? I'll ask you first. Do you see a scenario where Tom Corbett wins?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
I
really
do
don't.
not.
I think
Yeah,
I
I
think that
think-
the polls are so skewed right now.
But I think it could happen even at church on Sunday. I mean, they're encouraging, they're talking about Tom Corbett's a Christian, and
We don't know
and
about
that,
Wolf,
and that we don't
yeah.
know about Wolf. He never talks about
This
his
is a
religion.
Catholic church, by the way,
Yes.
which they're not supposed to do.
Well, I don't know.
My
But in any
church said
event-
go to the website and find out the facts for yourself. I'm not going to get your pastor in
I
trouble.
think you might have a lot of people come out, and so you just.
But the teachers are so mobilized
And
right
many
now.
of the-
I mean,
and-
they are mobilized to get Corbett
And
out.
municipal and state union workers, too.
Yes.
I mean, it really is. And he just isn't good on television.
I just
and,
don't
and the
see
shame
it.
of it is when you talk about the shallowness of the electorate.
that's sad.
Tom Wolf's good on television. He's not good on television, and that's probably why he's going to lose. Although he has gone into single digits. And by the way, the Republicans, if they do take the Senate,
They will
they're going to
take it.
change the landscape of what happens in America and around the world for the next 2 years. But nah.
But I
don't.
guess it's a fait accompli to me. I know they're going to win. I just now it's going to be what's going to happen with a lame duck president the next 2 years. Like I know that they'll. That's why I guess I'm not that excited. There's no drama.
What-
I know they're going to take over. Are you? Is that going to be a surprise if the Republicans
Not
take
not
the
now,
Senate?
but I mean, but people still have to vote. They have to vote in 13 states are going to determine this.
So you're saying you don't want them
Starting
to
with
be
New Hampshire.
complacent and-
Yeah, and also if they have 51, it means nothing. If they get 55, that's a big
And that's
deal.
something,
You know what I mean? And so as it starts to run across the country, I'll be watching. And by the way, you never can claim you're a political junkie again.
All right, I'm not.
We'll be back after this.